This is a brand new motorcycle, 4 miles. I'm violating the break-in procedure here a bit. Hey guys, Dylan from Throttle Company here. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We got a brand new demo bike in. We are a Royal Enfield dealer in Columbus, Ohio here, and we got a brand new demo bike, so the one you take on a test ride, and I have to test ride it, make sure it's safe, everything checks out, that kind of thing. And so I just thought I'd take you guys along as I go in the loop. And here it is. It's the orange one, Orange Crush. It's the same. We also have one over there, you know, for sale. But I'm not going to go too deep in the specs because you can find all this stuff out online. But this is literally fresh out of the crate. Last night we stayed late to unbox it and etc. But I fired it up, the tires are full, the oil looks good, that kind of thing, so we're just going to take it around. That's the procedure, is do a test ride. Normally I don't have to do a 5-mile test ride or anything, but we've got a fine opportunity. That's fine. It's going to do plenty of miles as the demo bike. So anyway, it's a parallel twin, so it's a 2-cylinder 650 engine, and that adds a lot of the character. It's smooth and stuff like that as it goes. But let's get this door open and we'll get it on around the loop. All right, here you can see on the odometer we've got 2 miles. That's how they come to us. So you're getting a little bit of the behind the scenes kind of stuff here. That's the crate I got delivered last night. That's how they come. Maybe I'll put a photo in here of us getting these delivered. It's pretty exciting. It's kind of fun to order a motorcycle. I mean, we've ordered, I don't know, 40 or something by now, maybe more. But it's fun when they come off the truck. I might go around just to avoid sitting behind these guys. We got a lot of construction going on. We're doubling in size here at Throttle Company on this building. Can I fit through here? I think so. Well, we got excitement already in the video. But we got a lot of construction going on is what I'm saying. It's January, I don't know what day it is, 12th? And which is amazing that we have this nice weather. It's like 45 today. And we got a lot going on. By the middle of February, we're supposed to have 7,500 square feet in that building. And it's exciting. It's a cool old building, and we've only been existing in, it was 2,300 at first, and then we got another 1,300. So we're moving up. So anyway, this bike is incredibly smooth. Hopefully that's something that comes across on video. Is it has a slipper clutch. So the mirrors need adjusted, of course. They've literally never been set. I just put them on last night. And a little pro tip, I use blue Loctite so that they don't back themselves out as we're driving or as you're riding along once you get them kind of set where you want them. So anyway, that's a little bit of a pro tip, but yeah, this is a slipper clutch is what I was saying, and this has a 6-speed transmission and a slipper clutch. Maybe I'll put a video or a photo, of a slipper clutch in action there. But the way it works is they machine the clutch to slip a little bit intentionally. So when we are taking off in first, it will just give me that completely smooth takeoff regardless of how good I am at doing it. And then in between gears, the same thing. So I can be a little clunky with my shifts. I don't have to kind of get it in the right RPM range. I can just hit RPMs, let out the clutch as I want to. It winds up making you a little lazy when it comes to riding other bikes, but it makes this bike just an absolute dream to ride. I think that mirror might wind up coming, yeah, I didn't really tighten it down. That's why we do the test rides. In case that happens, I don't want that, I'd rather not that happen to a person, a customer, a potential buyer. I forget that this one's the it goes opposite thread. Anyway, yeah, so this is a very smooth bike to ride. It sounds great, but at idle it's very quiet. We have a different exhaust, and maybe I'll ride one of those. I actually have to test one that has a different exhaust, so that's a GT. But if you're looking at these bikes, the reason we love them is they're modern bikes. Of course, this is a 2021, fresh out of the crate. They're made in India, and this is, you know, they send them on, I'm assuming, a boat to Texas, and then that's the warehouse for North America. And then when we want one, we just put an order in, and I think this one took a surprisingly short amount of time, but they could take up to 2 weeks, and then we get them in and we have a brand new motorcycle. So that's how it works for us. But anyway, this bike is called the Interceptor 650, or in America it's called the INT 650, because Honda owns the rights to the name Interceptor. Now, Royal Enfield did have it first, but they stopped using it. So at some point in the 80s, Honda started using the Interceptor name, and they own the rights currently. So we call it INT when we're saying it in print, but no one's going to get in trouble if they say Interceptor, you know, casually. In the shop, we have a 1968 Royal Enfield Interceptor, and of course that is really called an Interceptor, and that was allowed to be called an Interceptor at the time. Anyway, they also have the Continental GT. Oh, did a weird shift there. They do the Continental GT, same exact engine, same exact chassis, which is actually made by a famous frame company called Harris Performance, which is in England, that was acquired by Royal Enfield. So when this bike was developed by Royal Enfield, which is maybe 2000, we're talking about 2017, 2018, that time period, they moved their headquarters from India to England, and it's actually a little closer. I'm going to turn around here. No, the next one. I don't want to follow this car in front of me, so give me a second here, but I can keep talking about that. So they moved the headquarters from India to England. It's right by the Triumph factory, and that's the story, is that they were trying to woo away some of their engineers for Triumph. This bike is very similar to a modern Triumph, the engine design, and they were really going for that reliability. Then they wanted to make sure the frame was top-notch, so they had that incorporated Harris Performance, like I said, and that was the next step that they wanted to do. So when they developed these engines, it was just a huge leap forward from what they had been doing at that period of time, 2017, 2018. These are just beautiful bikes, and they are just proper motorcycles. They are very powerful, very smooth. They feel very modern, they feel tight, they feel put together. So anyway, you've got the Interceptor. We call them the twins, but it's the Interceptor and the Continental GT are same engine, same chassis. You've got some aesthetic differences and some slight ergonomic differences. The GT has clip-on handlebars that raise up a little bit, but they are true clip-ons. And then this is clearly your standard riding position handlebar. And then the foot controls are back a little bit. So this brand new motorcycle, 4 miles. I'm violating the break-in procedure here a bit, but that's what we do on the demo, so I want to make sure that everything's good and that somebody who wants to experience what the power of this motorcycle is, got a little gravel on the road, so I'm going to slow it down a bit there, but somebody who wants to really test this motorcycle and see what it's like, I don't want to tell them, oh, okay, you only go 30 miles an hour or something bizarre. So you can debate in the comments whether or not that's harmful or good for a motorcycle to drive it like you're going to drive it during that break-in procedure. But anyway, that's for another video. You saw how smooth and quick it is. Honestly, this is a bit quick. So if you just look at the numbers on paper, this bike has 47 horsepower. It's right around 50. And that's not a lot. That's by today's standards, that's not a lot. Back in the day, in the 60s, you know, that's probably what the other one that we have, the 68 Royal Enfield Interceptor, is a 750. It's actually 736 or something, but you know, that probably had around 50 horsepower, maybe a little more being a 750, but you know, this is a vintage amount of horsepower, but that doesn't tell the whole story. If you know engines and you pay attention to this kind of stuff, it's really about low end and constant torque. So what you need is a lot of torque early and consistent. And so if you look at the graphs, maybe I'll put one up here, but if you look at the torque graph for this engine, that's what they really accomplished well, is that just constant and early torque. And it honestly feels fast. It feels like it has a lot of power. And it sounds great. It sounds really good. It's probably quiet long term, but if you bought this bike, you would be very satisfied with that sound. It gets the blood pumping. It sounds like a British bike from the 60s and 70s. It absolutely, they nailed that sound. And that comes down to how the engine is designed. It's those two pistons, and how and when they turn and fire. All of that has a lot to do with the engine characteristics and the sound. But this bike it doesn't have any of the bouncy, you know, bumpiness. Those engines vibrate and bounce a lot. This doesn't do that at all. This is the one thing that I think most people take away from this bike, is just how smooth it is. You know, we do, like I said, we do test rides. We're actually getting ready to do a test ride. It looked like that guy was there. He's got some paperwork to do and stuff, but I'm going to do a test ride on this, and I'm sure he'll talk about how smooth it is. Everybody does. They pull up to the first light and they go, "Oh my God, this thing's so smooth." And that's it. It's the slipper clutch, and it's the way the engine is designed, and it's well done. They really set out to do something amazing with this motorcycle, and they achieved it. Down from the frame to the engine and the transmission. A lot of people, you don't hear a lot about the transmission on these bikes, but I think it's very underrated because of that. The transmission is just flawless. I never have any problems. I never think about am I gonna not be in gear, am I gonna miss gear and go into neutral or a false neutral, any of that, and nothing ever happens with that. Especially I've seen higher mileage ones that haven't changed oil. You change oil, transmission's brand new again. So with a little bit of maintenance on these bikes, you're completely worry free. I mean, this thing's perfect. So speaking of, you've got a 3-year warranty on these bikes. So the Royal Enfield Twins, this and the GT, they come with a 3-year warranty, which also includes roadside assistance, which is pretty amazing. You get a flat tire, your battery's dead, you lock your keys under the seat or something like that, you're good. They'll come and take care of it. So it's a pretty amazing program, and we haven't seen very many issues, but theoretically it's unlimited miles. So anything that happens in 3 years, I'm pulling up front because like I said, we're doing test drive, but anything happens in 3 years and they're covered under warranty. So pretty amazing program that they've got. Anyway, I got to get going because we got to do another test drive, but I appreciate you coming around the loop and enjoying this beautiful motorcycle fresh off the block. It certainly passed with flying colors, and there we go, a funny amount of miles left over. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.